Chapter 10. Let's find out who you really are. The idea being that what I am today has to do with my whole life. Every aspect of life has influence on who I am today. And that's what we want to look at. What I'm going to do is point out bits of every facet of life, and I want you to gather information about your past. If there is information which is, significant, for example, the first category is prenatal environment. If you had a mother who drank and smoked, that would explain maybe certain behavioral problems that you might have today. But if you don't, you can leave that on, so you can leave it blank. We just want to go through. I want to point out the aspects where you need to look at to pay some attention. And if there is information which is relevant, we'll summarize that. And if not, then you just skip that area. What we want to look at is the prenatal environment. That's the pregnancy time. The family structure, the upbringing. And so what was the upbringing like? Was it warm? Was it strict? If your parents are religious, that teaches some things. If your parents weren't religious, that does something else. If there were any nasty events, were there traumas? Maybe you got bitten by a dog at that time, and that's why you might be aversive to dogs today. You can take that back to that aspect, to that bit. So traumas, activities. Were you a sports woman or a man? Did you do things? Did you play tennis every day? What does it do to you today? Or how was the education? Was school fun or not? Did you study? Did you always want to become a doctor? And did you become a doctor? Yes or no? What effects does it have? What is your job like? Relationships or other situations. What we want to do here in this chapter is look at all the possible aspects of your past that might have significant role in making you who you are today. It's like connecting the dots. I'm pointing out there's a dot and there's a dot there, and you have to just draw a line on it. And at the end you will find out what and who you are. The bit is, by the way, important bit is that you have the beginning bits, the chapters. At the end of that, then there's a part that says summarize, because it's quite extensive chapter, so I realize it's very difficult to collect all the information and get a grasp of it. So the first bit is going through all the facets of life, and then there's a summary. So you put down the summary and then think about what it has done to you. So if you come from a religious background with a father who was strict, or parents who had a bad marriage, who fought the whole time, what kind of person would it make you? Maybe you're someone who would also fight, but maybe you're someone who would avoid conflict all the time. Conflict would mean the tigers in our daily life then. Because your head says, I'm never going to do what my parents did. They were always fighting. So every time when there's some conflict possibility, your tiger goes on. Because the tiger is saying, there is a chance of conflict and I don't want to feel the pain I felt then. And the result would be the stress. So the upbringing would be strict parents but fighting parents. That would mean that every time I would come in a situation where there might be a conflict, I would avoid it, because my head would say, avoid this at all costs, because if you don't, then you'll feel the same pain as then. And that is a tiger. Yeah? Practice, be patient. It's a long chapter, but if you finish it, you'll see that it'll give you the fruit. And the fruit is that it'll give you a good idea of who you've become and why you've become that. Thank you.